JNet Live. Keep your promise. And you all have been waiting, those of you that are here live tonight, because rumor got out that a bill in the state of Ohio, it's not a rumor, I actually saw it on Twitter today. There is a bill in the state of Ohio to kick Common Core out of that state. Now that bill was introduced by a state representative there named Andy Thompson, and he represents the 95th district in the Ohio House. And aren't you lucky? He's coming in our studio right now. Representative Thompson, have a seat right here. Thank you so much for making time to join us this evening. And I am so glad that we got your Skype working, and we see your tennis shoes there in the background and the washing machine. I'm moving to Ohio, to the 95th district, and I think everybody here will follow me so that we can support you. What brought this on?
Well, I found out about Common Core really in depth about 4 years ago, and have been working ever since then to try to do everything we can to get it out of Ohio and hopefully start a movement across the nation with good legislation to really finally deal with Common Core. And what I found over the last 4 years is that those in favor of Common Core have done a heck of a job financially supporting their cause, winning friends and influencing people, winning friends and influencing politicians. And it's fortunate this last presidential election, I'll give President Trump a lot of credit for having talked about this issue continuously, even when maybe other people didn't want to talk about it, because I think that his notion about it was very reflective of where the grassroots are. Nobody really likes Common Core. If you're a parent, if you're a teacher, a lot of folks in school districts and school boards don't really like it, and many of them don't know how we got into this. And I want to help them get out of it. So I think Ohio is a very, very important state, whether it's presidential politics, whether it's, manufacturing and distribution, and certainly when it comes to education. And I don't think, education should be manufacturing. I think education should be about freedom and citizenship and learning to love knowledge and words and science and, math, all the things that can be really fascinating for students and teachers to engage on. A lot of the joy has been taken out of the learning process by Common Core, and of course a lot of the excessive testing and the data mining. There are just so many things that are wrong that we need to make right, and I hope to lead that charge in Ohio.
Well, Representative Thompson, you already mentioned that we are up against an avalanche of lobbyists and money.
Mm-hmm. Right.
What's the chances? Who's with you on this in Ohio?
We've actually got some support from, not officially, but generally, at least tangentially, from folks like the Ohio Farm Bureau. We have support from several of the Christian groups in the state. We have a lot of social media concerned moms out there who are a very powerful force in support of this effort. Certainly, I've got a lot of constituents who continue to bang the drum on getting something done. We have school boards who have passed resolutions for previous bills that I've done. This is a brand new one, just dropped about a week ago. But we hope to build that grassroots network. We invite anyone, not just in Ohio, but across the country, to rally to our cause. We would welcome your, Twitter acknowledgments. We would welcome your, letters to the editor, letting friends and family know. One of the things that we've done with previous bills is we've had other bills that we've done addressing Common Core that have migrated from Ohio to other states like West Virginia, Wisconsin, Arizona, Missouri. So the work that we've done here in concert with folks at the national level like the American Principles Project, mm-hmm. and the Heartland Institute and Cato and Pioneer Institute. A lot of these folks have been part of this overall effort, helping us understand how best to go after this issue, helping us understand what appropriate standards look like and what's developmentally appropriate, but also what's going to garner the best result for students and parents across the country who care about education and realize that we need to get, especially need to get public education right if we're going to have, go down the road and have successful learners and ultimately successful citizens. So this is, there's a lot of complexity to it. About how it came into Ohio. Actually, a lot of dirty laundry about how it came into Ohio, and it's not unique to Ohio. But one of the frustrations we find as we're trying to address this is other states say, well, we got rid of Common Core. We came up with our own standards, and what typically ends up, it's like a watered down version of Common Core. So nothing really changes. They get the public off their back who thinks that they've solved the problem, and really they've just rebranded and kind of, I guess, pulled the wool over people's eyes.
They have. Common Core has taken on many wrappers. It's just a different wrapping on the same package, as you mentioned. Now, you said earlier, or alluded earlier, that this is not the first attempt to roll back Common Core. What's the hope this time? What keeps you going? What makes you think this time you can pull it off?
Well, I think we learn something each time about how we might more approach it a different way. One of the things that we've done over the last couple versions is to get to address that issue of local control. Philosophically, we don't like Common Core. We don't like anything about it. We don't like the philosophy behind it. We don't like the standards themselves and the developmentally inappropriate aspect of them. But we also recognize that over time, we've gone to this outcome-based model of education where somehow we're going to test our way to prosperity. And I don't think that's proven to be the case. I don't think any of the 5-year federal education plans that we've come up with over the last couple decades, whether it was Goals 2000 or Schools to Work or No Child Left Behind or now Common Core, has been effective. Just like every other Soviet 5-year plan, they failures. And what we need to realize is the federal government doesn't have anything to teach us about education. It has no constitutionally prescribed role in education. And so whatever we can do to try to get us back to more local control. We still have problems at the local level, but at least it feels like people have more of an ownership of what's going on. This Common Core, I guess, mode of operation doesn't feel like anything close to one that parents have any say in, one that students have any say in, and frankly, a lot of local school boards, they really just have to kind of take it. They have to take it in the shorts, and that's unfortunate because it feels like we're just powerless. And it was very encouraging that candidate Trump and then President Trump has continued to talk about this topic. We need to help him fulfill his promise to help us get rid of Common Core. And it's one part federal, but it's a large part state and local to make this happen. And it's like every issue that is ultimately successful, I think it counts on a grassroots effort. So what we're trying to do is empower the grassroots to use tools like we're using tonight, social media. That's really where people are having these conversations. And we want them to be empowered, but we want them to take kind of a starring role in this process. We can't do it by ourselves. It's not merely a matter of my talking to enough politicians and eventually we'll get there. We have to provide the encouragement and or the pressure to get politicians to do the right thing and to realize that regardless of the amount of Gates dollars that are chasing votes around this state, we need to do what's right, and we need to listen to the grassroots. We need to listen to our constituents. And I don't think you can find many constituents out there who are in favor of Common Core.
You have said so much that resonates within the community of grassroots moms, dads, parents, which are referred to in the media as educational outsiders. It is encouraging to hear a breath of fresh air. Representative Thompson, thank you. Listen, you are a champion, and we just want you to know that we want to do all that we can to assist you. Twitter is basically a nationwide community, but we'd like to follow up with you if there's anything that we can do to make you a rock star in Ohio. You probably already are, but in any event, you're our hero, and it is so refreshing to hear your voice championing the cause for locally controlled education. I'm sick and tired of you mentioned the 5-year Soviet plans, and that's exactly what I was thinking as you were talking. It is so refreshing. And hey, thanks for sharing your time tonight. I know are you in session right now?
We are currently on our spring recess, and so we're back in the district. And I didn't realize that a recess could be so busy, but we're working on a lot of these issues, marshaling support for some of the topics that I'm working on. But this is a vitally important one, and I should mention that all those other aspects of Common Core, the data mining of kids, which is totally inappropriate. We're hearing about adults being concerned about their privacy being invaded, and yet all these kids have been opted in without their consent. So we're going to do everything we can to protect them, to protect the state's rights, to protect our through federalism, to make sure that education the power resides at the appropriate levels of government. And so this is we're off to a good start. And I'm not doing this alone. I have a lot of wonderful people. Heidi Huber is a name that some of your viewers might recognize. She's a great, talk about a rock star. She's been somebody who has carried this torch and been very indispensable to me and to the citizens of Ohio as we try to fight the scourge of Common Core. She's done a lot of media as well. She's been on Glenn Beck's show on many occasions. And, Glenn Beck's been helpful. David Barton has been helpful. We have a lot of people who share this interest to get education right and to really, get education from the grips of people who don't have good intentions. Maybe they think they do, but I think the way that it ends up playing out, it's not good for kids and parents and, for our country.
Representative Andy Thompson of the House 95th District in Ohio. You are champion, and you are the flag that we shall rally behind. Thank you so much for sharing your time with us tonight, Representative.
My pleasure.